The more you acknowledge first that you have the ability to move your thought into increasingly better feeling places, then the more those better feeling thoughts become dominant, which means they become more active, which means they become easier. There's a momentum factor. In other words, you give your thought to something, and law of attraction matches it, and then you observe what comes, and then you offer the thought more, so the cycle continues. So, of course, it follows that the more you shift to better and better feeling thoughts, then the more better feeling thoughts you'll have. But having said that, we still don't want you to call the better feeling thoughts right and the not good feeling thoughts wrong. And you started out that way a little bit when you said, why am I creating this? That's the first thing that deliberate creators do when things don't go well. They start beating up on themselves. Now, it's bad enough that I've got contaminated water, but I'm the creator of contaminated water. And we want you to not make it personal in the sense that that makes you wrong or bad. We want you to make it personal in the sense that, do I want contaminated water or do I want fresh, lovely water? In other words, when I turn toward the fresh, lovely water, I'm just going to get more of that. It really is as simple as just turning the thought. We cause a little bit of your beating up on yourself as we imply that you want to be a deliberate creator, because when things happen and you don't think you deliberately thought them, then you feel uncomfortable that you don't have more control of your thoughts. Now, this brings us around to what we really want to talk about. We want you to get the sense that you're not trying to control thoughts or control circumstances so much as you're just wanting to define them and go in the direction of them. It's a much simpler thing than we're all making it out to be. You want to make it about your worthiness or about your ability or about your aptness or inaptness. You want to make it about whether you're right or wrong or worthy or unworthy. And we want to say that's never been in question. You've always been worthy. You're just here making choices. Do I like to eat this? Do I like to eat this? Do I like to experience this? Do I like to experience this? That judgment that humans want to lay over everything, as they've been so convinced that God or someone is watching everything that you do and making a judgment about the appropriateness or inappropriateness of it, is causing you to complicate your ability to attract in a very profound way. So you're driving your car and a thought occurs to you, and as you ponder it, you find yourself thinking, oh, I don't want that. Then the next thought that will fall on the heels of that, if you are aware of the progression of these contrasting thoughts, is, well, I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? If you'll just let that be the common response when you find yourself in the middle of a thought you don't want. Well, I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? And then do your best to turn your undivided attention to what you do want. But here's the thing that trips you up, and we want to soothe, not you, but all of you, not only you, we want to soothe, is that I know what I don't want. What is it that I do want? We want you to realize that even though you may be able to speak the words of what you do want, you might not necessarily be right on the hills of what you do want. There might be quite a crevasse between where you are and what you don't want, and where you want to be and what you do want. So then the next thing you want to say, oh, this is good. We have not said this way before. Whenever I know what I don't want, I also know what I do want. And now I'm just going to point in the direction of that and move in that direction. Instead of saying, I should be there, I'm just going to point in the direction of that and begin moving in that direction. And I can feel by the relief factor when I'm moving in that direction. What goes wrong for you? You're used to succeeding, and you're used to getting hold of things and making things happen. You're used to doing a good job of things. And so when you've got a thought that doesn't feel good and you can't turn it around on a dime, then you're self-critical. And we don't want you to be self-critical. We just want you to get it pointed in the right direction and understand that law of attraction will then help you get that momentum going. And so what? If you have to turn it around a dozen times, so what if you have to turn it around 100 times? Just the turning around factor in time will give you that momentum that will get you going in the right direction and keep you going in the right direction. Every time you know what you don't want, you launch rockets of what you do want, and every time, the dominant current is pulling you toward what you do want. In other words, there's never a time when you're not getting that help. But there is, in this physical format, always quite a buffer of time, or a expanse of time, between the time that you're getting help and the time that you're vibrationally lining up with help, and the time that you've allowed it long enough that it manifests. Unfortunately, many people want to wait till the beautiful water is flowing before they feel appreciation of it. And the trick is to feel the appreciation, which is because of the vibration, long before the manifestation is there. That's the key. That's what you're really looking for. How can I feel the appreciation for the lovely water when the water's still contaminated? How can I feel appreciation for a healthy body when I'm sick? How can I feel appreciation for clarity when I feel confusion? And we say, no one can do that. You can't feel confused and feel clarity at the same time. You can't feel appreciation and worry at the same time. But you can, in your worry, want to feel appreciation, and that gets you turned in the right direction. We want you to leave here convinced, determined, decided that it's enough that I'm pointed in the right direction, and never mind how far along I am. It's enough that I'm pointed in the right direction. And if you can get that, then what that means is you've made peace with where you are. And when you've made peace with where you are, the natural occurrence, the natural inertia, the natural universal response is going to get you there. But if in any way you are unhappy about where you are, you're pointed in the wrong direction. Oh, that was so big. So big.